she received the message about evolving through love, accepting what it is, finding love in what it is, as a way of growing into love, growing in love, growing within love, because love is all that it is. Think of the more in love you are, the more connected to love you are, the bigger your roots, which means the more you can grow. Think of your trees. Their growth is proportional to the size of the roots. You need support. You need a system to feed you. So the deeper connected you are, the stronger your roots. Then the more freedom you have to grow. Because a tree that is not well rooted will not have enough flow of life force energy to survive big growth. So first, the roots expands so it can receive more. And that then comes to surface and allows the tree to expand with freedom to find the light, to know where the light comes from, but freedom to grow in any form, in any way, and without rush. But first come the roots. So for you, first is the healing. First is your spiritual connection to Source, your understanding that being human is in a way a projection. But as we were sharing with all of you how important it is to love what is in front of you, accept and love what is in front of you, some people came to Laura's mind. Let's say people that she finds is very difficult to love. People that she judges as bad seeds. People that she feels she's in danger when she is with them. So she have to be careful, protect herself. And even when she feels she protects herself, she feels that sometimes she's still getting hurt. And she was asking herself how she can love the people that she put in that category. So the question is, we read, how is possible to love people that you judge as people that hurt you, people that hurt others, people that you find not loving? When you are using this choice of words, you are bringing your attention to them. Let's think of a person, and let's call that person Alice. You look at Alice, you observe Alice, you notice what Alice does, how she connects with others, how she connects with you, how Alice goes through life. You collect all the information by looking and observing and keeping track of what Alice does with her life. And then you put Alice in a category of impossible to love bad person. Not spiritual enough yet, not knowing how to handle her life, not knowing how to be loving. You looking at her life give many definitions, many judgments. When you are in that space, you are looking at an image that really do not exist. Alice doesn't exist in your reality. And you're not connecting with yourself. When you are judging Alice, you are observing nothingness. You are observing empty space. And you are not directing your attention towards the only thing that really exists for you, which is your own self. You cannot bring someone into you by focusing your energy on that person. You can only bring Alice towards you, closer to you, by connecting with yourself. So, how you can translate all that judgment into something that it really matters to you? How Alice make you feel? How Alice help you transform yourself? What Alice means to you? Through what challenges Alice is putting you through, and how you are evolving. What do you think about Alice? How you feel about Alice? How your body reacts with you are with Alice? That is the only thing that is true for you. It's what's happening with you. When you love the present moment, the moment that you are in, the moment that you are living, when you love the person that you are, when you are interacting with Alice, you are in love, loving yourself, therefore loving Alice, therefore bringing Alice into you. So, if Alice is a very conflictive person, that's your judgment, not ours, and you are in the middle of that conflict, and you are noticing that you are remaining calm, that you are at peace, that you can understand her struggle, it is not affecting you. When you understand that you are this column of light, channeling light, and Alice has no impact in you, at that moment you connect with yourself, and you are noticing that you are loving yourself. At that moment, the magnetic power in your heart is strong. And in that moment of your life, you're not just pulling Alice in, you are pulling in everything that is around you. Alice and everyone around Alice and everything that Alice represents. So, if she is killing a deer, or killing a bunny at that moment, and you are looking at that situation and you connect with yourself and you understand what love is for you, and you activate your loving power, at that moment you are bringing Alice. You are accepting her. You are accepting the life of the bunny or the deer. You are accepting her action. You are loving everything as it is. You are pulling into you Alice, the bunny, and the experience of killing. You are accepting and bringing into you killing through Alice's action. So instead of gaining one gold coin to eat and collect more love, you are gaining 3. The one that comes from Alice, from the bunny, and from the action of killing. See, you are observing. You are letting Alice do what she feels at that moment she needs to do, but you are honoring who you are. And you are honoring that that is not your choice, because your choice is love. And unless you are starving and you have to kill something to eat, and even that, you might have other options, but that might be your point where you can reach and you can say, I'm not going to kill as a sport. I will only kill if I have to eat to survive. But when you are thinking about you, understanding your reality, finding the light in you, based on what Alice is doing, you are activating your loving power. But you are accepting that that is happening, that there is a space in creation for that to happen. There is a space in creation for Alice and that bunny to have that experience, understanding that both will transform through that experience. And you are watching and you are noticing more about the world, the reality, the space, the cocoon that you want to form around you. In that cocoon, now you know that it won't be any sport killing animals, because you just know that that's not you. And then you move on. And unless Alice presents another situation tomorrow, you are done with Alice for that moment. You're not going to be thinking, judging what you saw, what you felt, what your body told you the whole day, if Alice is not there in front of you. You jump to the next experience. So it's not about looking at that person in front of you and think, what is about that person that I can love so I can be more loving? No. It's about being present in your own field, noticing what is happening, noticing the actions, and deciding from that actions if you want to repeat that in your field or do something different. And as soon as you made that decision, as soon as you colored your cocoon, your field, based on the decision that you made, you move on. When Alice is gone from your view, there is another view now popping up. So disconnect through your mind, through your emotions, release any tension in your body and focus on what is next. Creation is not asking you to align with something that doesn't feel aligned with your heart. Creation is asking you to define your space, to find the love within you and bring it forth, to color your space with the love that is in you, to create a space. And in order for you to create, you have to understand what you want to create. And that's why you have a lot of information, many things happening around you. So that is acceptance, not being in the judgment place. So when you look at the world and you see chaos in the world, recognize what happens in the world that you want to see happening more, and what happens in the world that you prefer to not make it part of your own world. And then move on. Do not repeat how bad the world is if the world is not showing you at that specific time anything bad. Not because you heard in the morning that the world is bad, something bad really happening, you have to carry that connection and extend that idea throughout your day. And you choose how much information you want to have around the world, about the world. You choose how open you want to be to what's happening in the world. Some of you have the option to work in other fields, to understand how to build your space by connecting with other things. Some of you have videos to watch or books to read or classes to go or meetings to go. And your learning comes from those things. Instead of, let's say, listening or watching what's happening with the world and getting your emotions and your mind in a roller coaster. You choose what to observe, what information to connect with. Some of you, most of you have that option. So have awareness that when you, let's say, turn on your TV because you want to know what's happening in the world, you are opening a window to observe a reality that you are not obligated to connect with. You are choosing to open your views to that reality. And every time that you have a reality in front of you, and the reality can be a person in front of you, or a TV screen in front of you, or the radio going, you collect information in the same way from any source, whatever is going on in front of you. For your system, there is no difference about the experiences that happen interacting directly with a person or watching a person going through something on the TV screen. For example, what happened on the news when you watch a movie. You still feel emotions, you still get your mind going, your body still react and give you sensation. So which means you are connecting with what is happening in front of you. So there are situations that you are, in a way, living with no options, But there are situations that you could decide not to go through. It's always your choice. We're not saying that it's a good or bad choice. We are telling you it is your choice. Think of what is that image in front of you, activating in your heart, in your mind, in your body. Come back to you and notice how you are defining yourself as you connect with that experience that is happening, what you think outside of you. In a way, we are inviting you, if we translate this to how it happens in your reality, to disconnect from everything and come back to you. So, actually, you do not have to love Alice. You have to ignore Alice and just notice how the situation made you feel and let Alice go. That's the way to accept. That's the way to love. That's the way to bring Alice into your heart. The releasing part, the removing of judgment, the letting go part is actually bringing Alice to your heart. That's in a way how you would experience. And connected to that, we can incorporate the word forgiveness. Why forgiveness is important? Because as long as you are not forgiving, you are judging something as bad. You are not letting go. You are not releasing. You stay connected to that image because of the resentment. So forgiving in a way is understanding that it is what it is, it was what it was, it happened what it happened. It's not something that you would do, it's not something that you would prefer in your world. Lesson learned, information collected, release, disconnect, let go. So those are all ways to translate what we talked last meeting into your words, into your understanding. Forgiving being in a way the releasing of the judgment, the understanding of how you transform what you decided after that situation happened, what direction you took after that situation happened, and then lesson learned. Forgive, which means let go, which means disconnect from the judgment. Release your mind, your body, and your emotions from that connection. Accept what it is. And come back to you and see how you transformed through that experience. And when you see how you transformed, do not judge yourself from which way you transform. If you become bitter, a little bit more angry, more careful, resentful, that was part of your journey as well. So love yourself. Do not judge yourself. Because as you understand the resentment in you, you can release the resentment in you. When you understand you are living in resentment instead of in love, you can use the techniques that we have been explaining and then release. And the moment you remove resentment from that space in you become empty and love filters in. The unlovable is just a breeze going on outside your field, there for you to interpret, ready to show you something about yourself. And do not translate that exactly as it is outside. Finding something unlovable outside doesn't mean that you have something unlovable within. It means that there is opportunity for transformation in a way. It means that you will give a meaning to something, and that meaning is entirely up to you. The more unique your meaning is, the more unique is the meaning that you give to a situation, the more information you bring to the web, to the one, to the original light. And the more you grow, the more that light grows. So, when you see something unlovable, just come back to you and understand how you can love yourself more by being in that situation. What is that situation teaching you about loving yourself more? Sometimes is creating stronger boundaries to honor yourself. Sometimes is to learn to speak louder, to hold on to your truth, to understand that your truth is your truth. And it is the truth, the only truth that exists within your bubble. Sometimes it is there to make you recognize a feeling that is hard for you to bring to the surface. Sometimes it's there to show you a gift that you have. Don't think that everything that happens outside is literally a reflect of what's in you. It happened outside for a reason, but it is an invitation for you to go through a journey of discovering something about yourself. And that's where your freedom is. And what is that you discover within yourself. And when we say that you discover something within yourself, remember that all of creation is within yourself. So you discover an attribute of creation that now you are ready to express, to incorporate, to have it on the surface. Imagine that, or believe that all the possible colors and vibrations already exist. But you know in a specific amount the colors. Those are the colors that you already as a community accepted, that you are ready, able to identify. So, but more colors, all infinite colors exist. There is one color for each vibration, and there are infinite vibrations, infinite waves. And all exist within creation, so they are all inside of you, but deeper, deeper, so hidden that you have no idea that they all exist in you. But one experience can connect you with a wave, with a color that you never saw before. So now you can identify that within you. And once you identify it within you, it becomes one color of your reality. It's like a badge that you start wearing. And when you interact with others, others can see it, recognize it, and now becomes a part of their field. It's kind of like getting a cold. Imagine that you all coexist within that one spark as individual sparks. Once one spark gets the cold, then other sparks around him, around her, will get that cold. But that, just think it in a very happy way. It's a good cold. It's a new color that now is activated. First in you, then in your soul system, then in your higher self system, and it keeps growing through systems until it's fully incorporated and brings awareness to everything that it is. So everything that it is now have awareness of something that was already in, but hidden within. Any questions?
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
I'm just curious about the process of it, how you were just describing it, moving from our experience to our soul system and to higher and higher systems of self. Does it also work the other way, where we can call in and bring it down through those systems to the human experience? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, we understand what you're saying. There are different things that you can call in. What you can call in is the experience. For example, you want to start a business. You can call in through your soul and higher self and larger system the business into your life. You can ask for a boat, a house, and soul and higher self and other systems can help you manifest that in physicality. Why? Because you're going to learn more about yourself by having that boat, by living in the house, by growing and managing that business. So then with the experiences that you get and the definitions that you get from that, then you share that information back to them. Think of they giving you, and when we say they, you think that is aspect of your own self that exists in different density. They can help you bring energy to a dense matter that can become something for you, that you can feel, you can touch, you can live in, you can play with, you can see. But the idea is once you have it, once you have the thing that you want, is how you interact with that thing, how you discover yourself, how you go through the challenges. So it's not the thing that helps you understand yourself. You understand yourself by playing with that thing. And then that's where you find the colors that are hidden. Does that answer your question?
I think it does. I'm feeling like the conversation that we're having started off on a interpersonal level and then developed into a broader way of manifesting through working with experiences and opportunities. So on the material level, I understand what you're saying, and I think it's kind of a universe, kind of like a known wisdom, with in their conversations now about how you manifest. But when you talk about relationships, so for example, right now, I invited back in a conversation with a person that I had chosen to ignore for several years because it wasn't serving me and it wasn't creating anything positive for me in my life. So I am a little still unsure of, when there's this emotional component to when you're dealing with people, that you can't be as rational about, oh, I have this car or this house or this job, where you can kind of separate yourself a little bit more. I feel like it gets very muddy sometimes with that emotional bit. And so I always was wondering about cutting them out was turning myself away from a growth opportunity that I just wasn't ready to experience, or that I needed to experience through other people. So when I call in from my higher self to help me in situations like that, I think that's where my question's at. Like, do I ask for more opportunities? Do I ask for a better
So you
self-knowing?
happen it happened to you that you had a book and you read a chapter and you feel like, yeah, I'm done with this book, and you put the book away. And then 5 years later, you grab the book again because now you feel that you want to read more. And for 5 years, you were okay and at peace, not connecting with the book and not reading that book. But suddenly, you feel like, because other understandings happen in your life, that now you need to go back to that book. Maybe read the first chapter again, but continue reading more without actually finishing the book because it still is heavy for you. So maybe you read 3 more chapters and then you're done for 10 more years. The same happened with relationships. There are books that you're reading. And it's not good or bad to read one chapter. It's not good or bad to then put the book away for 5 years. It's not good or bad then to grab the book again and read 3 more chapters. And it's not good or bad then to put the book back away. You have that freedom. You are deciding what you play with, what you connect with. It's not good or bad, it's what you feel is right for you to connect with at that moment, or to not connect at that moment. How is that?
That feels right. That feels like what my experience has been.
So, we would recommend or suggest that you accept yourself and love yourself when you need to connect with the book, and accept and love yourself when you need to put the book away. Because while you're putting the book away, that specific book away, you might be collecting information from a different book. And the thing is, how you combine the information from this book to the book that you're reading now, and then put the information together, is unique for you. And is the gift that you give to all of creation. Because now you're making a new interpretation by combining 2 books. Some people can read 2 books at the same time. Others just go one book, they put that in the shelf while reading another. And we're just saying 2 books to not make it too complicated, but you can actually read 100 books at the same time. The more spiritual you get, the stronger your roots. Let's go back to the beginning of the message. The stronger your roots, the more books you can read at the same time, which means the more relationships you can have. And in a way, you feel like you know when to grab that book and when you put it on the shelf, because between chapters you need to understand something that only you need to understand. So then you go to that book that will explain you the in-between chapters of the original book. And that makes your journey unique, the combination of books that you are reading to create your path, which we can translate to the combination of relationship and experiences that you put. And sometimes it's a combination of only relationships, sometimes it's a combination of people, job struggle, financial struggles, health struggle, or fun with friends, fun with financial stuff, fun with business. It's how you connect with the information, how you navigate, and you have freedom to pick and choose. Bring something into your field, activate, and then close it, put it away, and look at something new, something different. How is that? Do you connect with this understanding?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
So, when you are connecting with this understanding, are you accepting and loving yourself? Are you accepting the journey, accepting yourself, and loving yourself?
I think in some instances I am. I'm still letting go a lot of the, being strong and just forcing your way through
Mhm.
versus stepping back and just recognizing that forcing is always a sign that it's not right for me.
Okay. When you feel that you do not want to be in the space, in a space of a relationship, in a space of a business, in a space of family, in a space with your partner, in a space with your kids, in a space with teaching, in a space with learning. When you feel that you do not want to be in the space, ask yourself why. And if you understand a good why, give yourself permission to step away. And then, when you feel the need to get into that space again, a space of relationship, a space of learning, a space of teaching, a space of when you feel the need to return into it, ask yourself why. And if it makes sense to you, get in it. And get in and out as many times as you want. That's the freedom that you have. That's the freedom that you have. How you navigate your life is your freedom. Your soul, your higher self, will bring possibilities into your life. Possibilities of job, possibilities of group, possibilities of relationship, possibilities of material things. But you choose how you go through it. You choose what you make out of them. Just remember that you have that freedom. You have the freedom to play the game in the way that you feel best fit you. All right? Remember to love yourself and honor your needs. Because your needs are also a system that can help you navigate where to go next. You might be with this book and you feel boring reading this book and you find there is a need to read something different. And sometimes you feel, no, I cannot leave this book unfinished. While your mind and your heart is actually in a different book. It is okay to put the book aside and jump to the book that is really calling you. And you might find that there is a connection. You might find that you needed that piece of information from this new book in order to understand the book that you were reading before and translate books to relationships. It is okay to be with someone and then take your time and not be with that person. Understand more things about yourself, more things about what you need to do with yourself. And then when you feel ready, go back to that relationship. It's your own journey. No one, nothing is judging you. That's what we are sharing here. Not to judge. Not to judge what's happening. Not to judge yourself. All right. Deep breath in. Exhale. Notice how your body feels. Your mind, your heart, your body. Remember that when we connect with you, it's not just Laura's voice or Laura's words. We share our space. The words, the sound are vibrations. You are receiving the vibrations within you. Depending on how much you accept, is how much those vibrations can transform you. Depending on how open you are. Depending on what is aligned with you. So notice the space. Notice the cocoon that is formed around you. But notice that it is your space. Notice that is your heart open. Notice within you how deep you are, how infinite you are. Notice how waves are always moving through you, coming from that depth in you out to the surface, or going from the surface into the depth of you. Deep breath in, exhale. Remember that everything that we are sharing is vibrations that already exist. So all this is information that you already know, that already is in you. When you accept this, you're just allowing this information now to be a part of who you are, to come to the surface. This information become more colors that you are wearing now. You are allowing your outer you to transform through this information because you're bringing forth these colors. And this will reflect in the cocoon where your reality happens. Deep breath in, exhale, and when you feel ready, open your eyes.